18th, 2023 regular meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Bot recall, Board of Trustees recall, or roll call, Stiles. Hendrickson's going to be gone. Ferguson?
Here.
Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Allsworth?
Here.
I want to thank everybody else in the audience for being here. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for changes, review the current agenda items.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Halsworth, seconded by Linda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Special items. Discuss a little bit about meeting protocol before we get started. Here you go, Dan. Pass one down to Mitch. Keep one for yourself. Three down this way. Apologize for reading this, but I make sure I don't leave things out that I want to have included. I'll be talking about ways I will be addressing some of the issues that transpired in the last meeting, if they happen in this or any future meeting. Hands will be raised, and the person can only speak after being recognized by the chair. There will be no cell phones used by the bot during the meeting. That includes reading text. All members need to understand that the citizens in the last election voted for change, and it is our duty to change what was promised to be changed. The majority rules. Yes, things will change. That is why we ran, because change was needed. The purpose of Robert's rules and parliamentary procedures in general is to facilitate the transaction of business and to achieve the deliberate will of the majority after giving the minority a full hearing of its position with full considerations to the rights of all the members. A quote from General Roberts in his 1923 book on parliamentary law: "The greatest lesson for democracies to learn is for the majority to give the minority a full, free opportunity to present their side of the case, and then for the minority, having failed to win a majority to their view, gracefully to submit and to recognize the action as that of the entire organization, and cheerfully to assist in carrying it out until they can secure its repeal. A meeting's success depends upon the good faith of the members and the chair to give everybody their say, but not at the expense of disturbances. There are two types of agenda items: business and community reports. Community reports are not debatable. We can ask questions for clarification only. Business items need to have a main motion before the discussion/debate can start. Citizens have the opportunity to comment on agenda items, but only after the bot discussion has ended, just before the vote is called. Debate on the main motion is limited only by rules of length and number of speeches and, of course, rules of decorum. Members cannot attack other members or the chair. Comments need to be addressed to the chair. According to Robert's rules, each member has the right to speak twice on every motion and a limit of time of 10 minutes per speech. I'm going to be addressing that on the next part here. Robert's Rules also allows for adopting a special rule of order to change the time limit for each speech. I would request a motion to adopt a special rule of order under Agenda Item 3B to do this. If passed, the special rule of order applies to all future meetings until a motion is made, seconded, and the vote carries its removal. Depending on the subject, the chair can request a motion, or a member can request a motion to limit or exceed the limits of the debate after the main motion is made. This limit or extension is only for the motion on the table. The chair is responsible for letting members know when their time is up. It is the member's duty to honor the chair's polite notice that their time has expired and immediately conclude their remarks. If the member feels they need more time, they can address the chair for more time. It is the chair's option to say no, but that can be appealed, or it can just be put before the other members to give the opportunity to consent to an extension. Any member, after being recognized by the chair, can state, "I move the previous motion." And after this,
I'm missing your page.
Yeah, I'm missing a page here also. Page 3.
I haven't copied.
Well, I got it.
Page.
The other three. Am I missing one? I don't think I'm.
No, because you were reading it.
Yeah, there's a page of this one. And this one.
Yeah. It must have, the copier had copied it here.
Okay, you guys, there's one in this one. Monica.
Do we need to have Monica make a copy
Yeah.
of it?
Yeah.
Page 3?
We need a couple copies of page 3.
We've
don't
got a
have
copy
it.
today, it left a page
Yeah,
out.
I got this one.
There you go. I think this is the one we're talking about.
Yeah, this one don't have it either.
The one I just handed you?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I thought it did.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was this an extra or what?
Yeah, it was an extra one.
Yeah, because Linda's not here. Yeah, Vicky's not here. Yeah, I got copies of these, but I missed a copy, so.
Got it, yeah.
Did the machine eat
I have
copies?
one. I'm lucky it was open, but I don't know how it works.
Okay.
Could I get you to start on the last paragraph
Yep.
of the second page, please?
Yep, sure can.
Thank you.
Apologize for that. Copier must have ate that page. The chair is responsible for letting members know when their time is up. It is the member's duty to honor the chair's polite notice that their time has expired and immediately conclude their remarks. If the member feels they need more time, they can address the chair for more time. It is the chair's option to say no, but that can be appealed by a member of the board, or just put it right out to the other members to give the opportunity to consent to an extension. Any member, after being recognized by the chair, can state, "I move the previous question." And after the second, what it means is the member wants a vote to end the discussion. A vote will be taken without any discussion, and if passed by 2/3 vote, the chair immediately requests a vote on the motion on the table without any further discussion. To ensure all members are given their chance to be heard, or no member can speak a second time until everybody else who wants to speak has done so. The chair can make an intervention or call a member to order when a member fails to limit their discussion to the motion/question on the table or is disrespectful to the chair or other members. Members also have the right to call another member to order without being first recognized by the chair. The chair may direct the finance officer to note the breach in the minutes. The chair can then take direct official action against the member by naming them and asking them to give up the floor. If the member fails to do so, the chair can request a motion to censure, which is an official expression of disapproval. If the motion is made and seconded and the motion carries, the member will be requested to leave the chambers while the remaining members deliberate the punishment. The chair, according to Robert's rules, can request a member or a citizen to leave the chamber. Members of the bot have the right to appeal it, to appeal the chair's ruling. If this is done, then there will be a vote to decide if the appeal stands or if the ruling of the chair stands. Our responsibility to the citizens is to come and get business done in the most effective way that we can. And with that, we'll go forward to the next item, agenda item, which is 3B. And as we talked, Robert's rules allows 10 minutes for each board member on a motion, and if you had amendment to a motion, and then you could end up spending an hour and 40 minutes or more on a motion itself. So, as I mentioned before, Robert's rules allow us to adopt a special rule of order. So, with that, I request a motion to adopt a special rule of order to limit the time for each speech by a bot member to 3 minutes.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second? With no second to that motion, the motion cannot go forward. We move on to the next agenda item.
I would request that we make a motion to follow the Robert Rules 10-minute period for each discussion.
Anybody gonna second it?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? One of the things that, one of the things that, looking at Robert's rules, it does give a lot of opportunity to extend the time of speech, but in order to be effective in getting through the meetings, we need to have a limit on how we're going. I guess that's, so I guess I would recommend that we vote.
Well, if the 10 minutes is a rule, if it's already in the rules, it's already in the rules. You don't need to vote on it.
Don't get it.
No, it's in Robert's rules, so, yeah, that's what stands, being the other motion didn't carry. Yeah. So, no debate on it, we go on to the next item, so.
Then we need to let that motion fail then, or vote against it.
There was no second, so it didn't even get out.
Linda seconded it.
No, you seconded Dan's motion. Oh, yeah, we just have to let that one fail. I was thinking of the first motion.
So you need to call for a vote then. And
We'll call for a vote on Dan's motion to stay with 10 minutes as Robert's rules.
We don't need to vote on it.
You don't then,
Because it's already
so
in
it
there.
just will fail.
If it's already in there, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not
it is in
saying
Robert's rules.
You're
I read
saying
it.
that, so
I read it.
I don't have any reason to disagree. So 10 minutes is the limit, that's the rule already in place, you don't need to vote on it again.
And what we were
We've
looking at-
already adopted the Robert's rules.
Yeah, and what I was looking at is you can do special rules of order that are above Robert's rules that didn't carry, so we move on. Okay. Consent calendar, okay. Requested motion for approval of the July 5th, 2023 regular BOT meeting minutes as presented / amended.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Donna,
Second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? If there's no, oh, go ahead, Dan.
The only thing I do want to remind that we did in that motion, make the motion on the engineer side of it, that motion was made by Hendrickson, second by Ferguson to put the WRT system on hold after the design is approved by South Dakota DA&R. I guess my only clarification on that is that, so we're going to then allow the engineer to resubmit, so we do get approval
Yes.
on the items that were
She's under-
sent back?
She was on the WRT, she is still under contract to fulfill her requirements. And so if she wants to go forward and do it, she can.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Any conflict of interest declarations? If none, we move on. We move on to claims.
But I'm passing.
The law enforcement got in front of the claims.
For some reason.
It's from,
Yeah, yep, I see it.
I'd make a motion to approve for discussion.
I have a,
I'm just going to go in a second. Just second.
okay, a second.
It's open, motion made and seconded. Discussion?
I have a question on the flowers. What flowers and what are we talking about flowers here?
That was for Joan's mom passed away. We sent condolences.
Who
Cover.
who approved them?
That was
Actually,
Linda's.
I asked for it.
But was it approved by the rest of the board?
Right, and if the board does not agree with it, I'll pay for it. She
Well,
has been well, you can't wait, and you can't do phone polls.
Yes, you can.
How much
No,
were the
you-
flowers? Because the majority
No, you
was
can't.
stamps, I'm assuming. How much was flowers?
Um,
25?
Great.
it was 121, I think.
For the flowers?
Mhm.
We can't do it by phone poll, and it was.
Well, I feel that at least Jerry should have been contacted on it.
That was before.
It was prior to my time,
This is from July.
but
It's just a credit card. It
It's
was
when it
from
finally
the month
came through.
before.
yeah, there's credit for.
Well, I guess Steve Hammer was a board member for many years, and there was question on sending flowers for his family, and it wasn't done. And I just, I have no qualms of giving flowers to anybody, but I think we need to be on equal basis.
And that just kind of reflects back on anytime money is going to be spent, and it's going to be city's money, that it needs to be approved by the full board.
Well,
Prior.
this wasn't. It was the next day. It had
Yeah,
to be
understand.
sent.
I understand. I think that you're not objecting to it.
No, I'm not objecting,
She
but
just
I
had a
just wanted to know who they were for.
So there's no objection to paying it. Yes, Dan?
On one that was for Hammer, and I agree on this, that we did discuss it before we allowed it to happen and said we weren't going to. And I think this one should have been likewise. I agree that we should not have moved ahead with it without approval, because anytime we have had in the future or past, if anybody passed away, we have asked that we get permission first on them. And so I guess I'm the same way, that I don't feel that we should have moved ahead. And if we didn't, then a lot of times we've done it within our own pockets, like you say, and just send the money within ourselves. So
That's what I.
I don't have a problem contributing to it personally, but I don't feel that it should go through our claims.
I agree with that.
So I will contribute too.
And I'm sure five of us will contribute to it.
So if you get that bill ready and we'll do that.
So I would
Okay.
amend my motion to remove the flowers off of the claims and only pay for the stamps, and correct the total amount when you get that amount total fixed.
Yeah, but it's taken out of the bank already, so
So
how about
once
we
we
do
pay you, you can
reimbursement?
reimburse, correct?
So, okay.
Is there a second to Dan's motion?
I second
Dan made a motion that we take the flowers off of the 434.87, pay for the stamps, and all other items would be approved. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, request for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
it.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your input on that, Matt. The next agenda item is law enforcement abatement and complaints. I'll turn it over to Donna.
Well, we have had a second interview with our applicant, and I did ask Monica yesterday when I was in here, and we have not got his background check back yet. And as soon as we get his background check back, then we will offer him the position.
Monica, you had a
I
question?
talked with Marty today, he says the background should be done by the end of next week.
Okay, thank you.
And what is his name?
Slade,
Slade Heed.
no.
Yes.
Oh, Hebe, I thought you said Heath, and I was
No,
gonna
Hebe,
say
Hebe, Slade Hebe.
H-E-B-B, yeah.
H-E-E-B, instead of like the one
He's a
attorney.
big guy.
H-E-B.
Broad shouldered. I believe he lives up,
Ghost Canyon,
Ghost
Box
Canyon
Canyon
Road.
area.
and I guess I don't know if this is the time to add, I mean, we do need to clean the car up and stuff once he accepts this
Yeah,
position.
well, that'll be a future
I was gonna say, that'll come back for the board for full
Right,
approval
yeah.
and review of the application and background and all of that then.
The Custer County log is attached. If there's any questions to that.
Hi, I'm Tom, Captain Daniel, I think. Don't worry, this is just a caller to the universe, so I won't be here long. God bless you guys, okay? Many blessings. Call upon the name of Jesus, he saves every day. Power of the Holy Ghost. If you receive it. There's somebody here that needs healing, I think, of cancer. I think it's maybe lung cancer or leukemia. I don't know.
Whose friend is that?
Okay, well, you've been blessed. Okay. If any, just go ahead and just, what do you have a discussion on? on the law enforcement?
Yeah, exactly what you read on your protocol is what we had followed in the past. And it was brought up that way because of unruliness of certain circumstances.
Dan, excuse me, we're talking about law enforcement
Correct, and
abatement.
that's why this applies to that also, that if you get them circumstances that you have that ability to ask that citizen also to
Yeah.
bring it to order, to also leave.
Oh, I
to also apply.
was just getting
So-
ready to ask him. Thank you, Dan. Okay. Any further on Custer Chronicle, Custer's County's log? If not, we'll go to item C and Donna can talk about the,
Well, I have done quite a few courtesy calls, and I've got people have been very appreciative of that, and the ones I have called have acted on what we have asked them to do. We do have a few that are in question yet, and then there's one residence we need to contact about having vehicles parked in the city right away. But I see she's got this one name on this one, and I know they don't own that house, so I don't know. I'll have to call and ask Jill in the morning. It's 259 Donna Street, and I know the gal that owns the house, and it's not those people. They used to live on Ferguson Street. And there is one issue of firewood in an alley right away. We have several people that need to mow their grass in their fence line, which we have talked to, and we are sending a few letters to. So I feel on the whole that the abatements that I've taken care of, I feel very satisfied with them. And in fact, the one that called tonight, and he says, "Let me guess, you're calling about my weeds." I said, "Yes, I am." And his folks are moving, so he said he'd be out this weekend to take care of it. And I said, "That's great." So, I looked at Roy's drive-in, and the word is he's not opening this year. But he still needs to mow, and I haven't contacted him because I don't have a phone number for him, but I will get that. Other than that, I'm satisfied with my abatements that I've done.
under the same agenda item, the dumpsters. The dumpsters were pushed down. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna tell you that my husband mowed our neighbor across the alley. Not mowed, but weed eated. Got tired of looking at it, and he just went ahead and did it.
Deb? Is that across? Oh, okay, I gotta figure out where you're at. Oh, no, I'm in the wrong street. I'm up a street further from
They're
you.
chasing Cole,
Oh, those
the
people.
rental.
Oh, they're rental.
Yeah.
Well, I have one for another one.
Yep, so he just got tired of it and did it. There were, he sprays weeds for the state,
Yeah.
so those things bother him. And there were thistles this high, and so he just went and handled it.
There's a few down there, thistles are this high. One gal told me that, I said, "Well, you mowed your yard, but you didn't do your grass and your fence line." "Well, I don't want anybody to look at my yard." I said, "What?" Why mow your grass if you're not gonna mow your fence line? So she said she'd take care of it, so I will check with her in a couple days, make sure it's taken care of.
Okay. Now we'll go to the dumpsters. The dumpsters were pushed down 4 times since the last meeting, once by me and 3 times by Chuck. Chuck contract has a line item in it for backhoe use of $75 per hour. Chuck will be submitting a claim for the number of hours required to accomplish his service. The claim will be for the number of hours times the contract agreed upon, $75 an hour for the backhoe.
I have also some costs I put together in case you're interested I did include the dumpster, finishing an alley, storm damage areas, and Dollar General approach, so if you'd like them, I would have Monica make some copies.
Yeah, and we could probably talk that under the streets.
Okay?
So, yeah, we can have copies and we can discuss that under streets.
Yeah, that hand up.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just so you have note for the record, the other day we called Jill to see if we could put like rotted wood that rots in the dumpster. And Dan said it was okay to do that. So we took, we took OSB that was rotting down there and threw it in the dumpster. So if you have any complaints about there's wood in the dumpster, it was ours because we were told that we could do that.
Thank you.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
You have another,
Yes, Chuck?
Isn't there a length limit on what they can put in there? I thought it was 4 feet.
Never has been.
Yeah.
As long as it can be smashed and pushed down, that's what I've always done with the loader, and then always ask Sanders and Keeper about it. As long as there's no nails in the wood, and the wood is rotted or dried, whether it's 4x8, or, you know, we had pallets that were put in there before, can't do it, you know, because of the nails and the debris. You know, but we've had firewood, we've had pieces of 2x4, chunks of 2x4, all of that put in, as long as they're not nails in them. And they can be broken. I mean, when I did it with the loader, you can push down far enough, you can smash everything in.
Well, you'd kind of think that when they cut a limb off that's 10, 12 feet long, they'd cut it in half or something, but
Not necessarily.
And maybe that's one of the things, I know we can't change the ordinance for the dumpsters until a year after that, but maybe when we look at that after each year to look at, because it eliminates the bridging in there, and I think if things were cut to 4-foot lengths like Chuck was talking about, that we might be able to get more into dumpsters. Any further discussion? Rule 2 next would be legal. Mitch, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
And this is just a pending item that we have on there, and it just stays pending. The next item, agenda item we'll go to is engineers. Under the wastewater, the water rehab project. We had a letter from South Dakota DNR dated June 26, 2023, not approving the design submitted for the WRT system. Are you, I guess, yes. But Leah, the status on that, are you gonna work on it and resubmit it, or?
I visited with Kent Hague after the last board meeting, and he said that the project would be put on hold. And so we did not address any of the comments received from the state.
And what it was with the motion that in there, as Dan read earlier, is we put on hold after the design is complete.
Okay, and that's the direction that I just needed from the board, if you would like me to complete
Yeah, that was in the motion, yes ma'am.
the comments. So I guess that's the direction that I'll take tonight. And so we'll address those comments so that we can resubmit the plans to the state for their approval.
Thank you. The Hermosa sidewalk project is in process and ongoing. It's looking really good down there. I don't think there's been any issues. There was some issues about whether the whole sidewalk was within the town right of way. We went back to the original surveys and looked at them from when, what was the contractor that designed that? Interstate Engineering designed it, and they did original surveys, and everything is within the city right of way, so everything is moving along smoothly. One thing they did do is a tree that was actually in the city right of way, they actually did a little maneuver around it so they wouldn't have to take it out. So they worked well on that, so that went well.
Linda has a question.
Yes, Linda.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. I just want to thank Joan, she's not here tonight, but she has been spearheading the sidewalk project for 9 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our third go-around, and hopefully there'll be more go-arounds, and just wanna thank her for all of her hard work, cause she's been the majority of that process, so,
And I understand that's the main walkway for the children when they're leaving school.
yes,
So,
thank you.
Next item is D, the sewer project, lagoon design and expansion. ACES submitted the design package on June 30th, 2023, based on the June 2023 comments from South Dakota DNR, waiting South Dakota DNR review. Have you heard anything back from DNR on the comments? Seemed pretty straightforward, the 6 that you answered.
Yeah, I haven't received anything back from the
Yeah.
state yet.
Yeah, and
on
I
those.
looked at what you
Everything
submitted,
else.
and it looked like you covered what they wanted, so.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The water and sewer facilities plan is pending. Black Hills Council of Local Governments is pending. The next item on the list is the Town of Hermosa Water and Sewer Extension Project. And we have ACES Engineering and also Elmer Claycomb here. And they're gonna discuss the way forward so we can get that project final approval and then look at repairs in the future. So you guys have the floor on that, Elmer and Leah.
The status on it is that we received comments from the state with concerns on one location. And so I need board approval on additional measures that would like to be taken to achieve that approval.
Yeah.
And Elmer has supplied technical memorandums that have been submitted with the state review process.
So you've already submitted them then, or?
No, not on the last round, where we've received one more comment that they're still having concerns with one location, so.
And Elmer, you were gonna look at that location and look at it from the point of the floodplain and also to try to satisfy what the state wanted so we could move forward.
Yeah. I have copies of 10 letters from the state dealing with that water or sewer item there. All I say is my professional opinion is the only way I'm sure we will get it approved is to take out the existing sewer, the insulation that's around it, and reinstall it, meeting the detail that is used by not Rapid Cities, but
Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls detail?
yeah, Sioux Falls. And the issue in the last review is that there had been a comment in one of Leah's responses to the state that it was using the Rapid City detail. And the state latched onto that and said the Rapid City detail would require you to have 30 inches more cover, which created the problem that then we'd have a higher floodplain problem. So I said the only thing the only thing I'm sure that would be approved by the state, depending on the position they've taken, is simply take it out and put it in exactly for the detail. All right. The other thing that it may be worth trying is to resubmit, just referring to the Sioux Falls detail, superseding the thought of the Rapid City detail. Anything is not sure. As you said in the previous meeting, what's so necessary for the town is to reestablish a good relationship with the state. They're basically, they are basically pissed off at the town and engineer and anything else that's close to it. And it's gonna take a while to repair those fences. That's why I say the only thing I'm sure would be that they're just to the point, say, take it out. We don't want that insulation around it. They've griped about that in every comment. So just take it out. Do exactly what the Sioux Falls shows. Purely an opinion.
On that there then, Elmer, would that, that would be detrimental or require any future floodplain issues then? They would be able to, because I remember originally you said that you were about within an inch or so of it would be.
What I have said before, spread out over a year's time, is that the amount of obstruction offered by that sewer as originally designed is so minimal that it's not going to affect the floodplain. We have the legal right to increase that water surface elevation by 1 foot, because it's not a floodway. So it's not going to lift it that much. However, if they go in and stay with putting a 30-inch more cover, it's a different issue. Okay? The other thing that has held us up from issuing the floodplain development permit, even with the original plan, is the ordinance requires that all state and federal agencies approve it before we can issue the permit. So as long as the state don't approve it, I can't approve it, and it keeps going around.
Also, one of the things that was amended to that contract was that they raised the road going into this storage area. And that was raised by more than a foot. How do you see that playing into it?
I cannot comment on that because I have nothing that illustrates that that road was raised. We've got to refer to Leah, they did the inspections on it. And I don't know if anything's been done to follow up to see what the finished elevation was. I think one of the concerns, no, let me say, my understanding, I didn't say I'm right, my understanding is the change order said to widen the road, but not raise it.
Right.
Now, I don't know what happened between that change order and what was finished, so
But it was raised.
I cannot argue that point.
Yes, Dan?
And yet you can't argue it back that it was never raised, to any of our knowledge, through the whole project. It was at the same elevation and material put on it. As far as on the other side of it also, the last letter that I read, that we were 2 inches short of coverage is all that we were on that level of coverage. And that's why I wondered about that too. And when I read that, I thought, 2 inches less? So if we were to raise the coverage of that dirt and grade that drainage to go to either direction, couldn't we satisfy it that way too then? And take that circumstance out of that rather than that pipe? I mean, it was designed that way because of the scours and because it was listed as the floodplain floodway. In them circumstances, that's why the concrete was originally done that way in the insulation. And in the insulation side of it, it was also, DA&R is at an 18R value, and this is at a 24R value. So I guess in my feelings, you know, we're at them levels, and I think the whole thing about the variance that was asked for that request on it, had DA&R not been in upset mode, I feel it would have went through because I feel it's a very good design. But I'm wondering if we put the cover over it and grade that area so we don't have water standing, if it would be acceptable along with the styrofoam, because Their thing is if we installed the styrofoam, which the concrete would be essential for that installation of the styrofoam because of the washers that were designed to attach it to the concrete so that it was stable, then come over the top, that we still wouldn't have enough coverage over the styrofoam was the situation. So if we could gain a foot of coverage over that styrofoam and regrade that area to drain, which there is area both ways, because that kind of does crown a little bit. That was my feelings or thoughts.
The two problems. One is you're trying to apply logic to something that logic is not the answer. Does that make sense? When you've got something that has gone past the point, one of the times there was going to be a meeting or conference call with the state, with Leah trying to explain things, is I had told the attorney, I said, we're just plowing the same ground. They're not going to change their opinion. Until we change something that says, we give up, we'll do what you want. And that's why I said I think there's two ways that I think they discovered it. One is just take it out, take off that insulation around the pipe, because they have the point that they keep saying that doesn't allow heat to come up from the ground. And we would still need the concrete encasement, so we'd have to put it back in and put the insulation over the top per the other cities.
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls.
Scan.
I keep coming up with, Sioux Falls. So that it looks just like that detail. And there's we can do it. And the other is try to have Leah say, we didn't mean the Rapid City detail, we mean the Sioux Falls detail, and we're proceeding with it. And the state had said how wide that insulation has to be. They calculated it and told us how wide it have to be.
And I understand some of the frustration, and some of it is, it goes right back to, keeping the state happy, and is the state unhappy? The whole fact when it started that the plans weren't submitted for the design at that time either. And in reference to that road, it is clearly that road was raised during the construction.
We'll talk about the road. I think that can be answered, and it was commented somewhere earlier. I believe ACES would have the survey when the grade staking for the depth, and it should have the elevations right along the road before anything was done. Okay, come back and survey right along that same line.
And then just check it.
And then I think we have a definitive answer to that.
Yeah. Yes, Dan.
What is Leah's comment on that? What do you think would be something that would go back at them with?
I don't think that we can achieve the standard Sioux Falls detail because they require a 7-foot bury depth on the sewer main, and we can't achieve that with the slope. But we can take a shot at a modified version of that detail like we did with the Rapid City detail. We don't fit in either standard detail solution for that location. So it's whatever the board would like to attempt, we can do. But we don't, it just doesn't meet, we're at the minimum slope for that sewer to be at that location right now. And Sioux Falls requires a deeper depth because they're in a different climate zone than the Rapid City Hermosa area. So that's why we chose the Rapid City option to try to satisfy, but both would have to be a modified solution to be resubmitted.
So the modified solution, are you thinking the concurrence of what Elmer said, that we should remove the concrete or not?
Both standard details don't require concrete, but due to the fact that it's in a flood zone, there were scour issues or concerns by the state. And that's why we chose to encase it in concrete, because if you just apply the styrofoam type pink foam method, whether it's Sioux Falls where it's boxed or the Rapid City where it's just over the top, those have the potential of scouring the soil away and removing the insulation.
Yeah, because if we go back to some of the original letters when they came out, they were talking, you know, rerouting, they were talking booster station, you know, lift stations. I think with Ken Haig visiting with them, I think he was able to get them to maybe come off of some of that, but it doesn't sound like what you're saying is even with Elmer stuff, you don't think it could pass.
We just don't fit the standard typical details.
I'm gonna have to ask you,
Yep.
where do you get the 7-foot cover for Sioux Falls?
That's out of their design criteria, where that detail comes out of.
And I've gone through that, I've calculated it to match what the state has said, and I think, I've got the calculations here, I think I had to chase down to the depth that they were figuring the frost was either 48 or 50 inches to match the dimensions that the state had given. So it appears to me that the state would be willing to accept that with that width of insulation, and I think it only, I'll have to get a look at it, I think it shows 3 inches of cover over that insulation, which is essentially what you've done.
And we can definitely take that approach if the board would like to go that way. When I looked at it before and I discussed it with them, it doesn't meet the standard typical detail, because they are implying that it's a 55-inch frost depth, which is a new requirement that the rest of the main doesn't have to meet, just this location. So, but I would absolutely take Elmer's direction and design and comments, and we can resubmit that to the state for approval in response to their comments, if you'd like. I agree this is an ongoing issue, and it's not a technical. Right now, the water, or the sewer is sufficiently protected, so.
Yes, Dan, you had one more comment?
Thank you. You just made the statement that they required 3 inches coverage over that foam.
For the Sioux Falls detail, I think. Which Sioux Falls is that boxed option. It's like a U shape.
With the 3 inch over that. And then the
Maybe.
state, see, each comment, I guess, that we've had that's come back with every denial letter, we've asked for direction. They don't give you specific direction. They only,
They'll only
Right.
approve or disapprove.
Yeah, the state will never tell you, do this, do this, do this, because once they do that, they own it, and if it don't work, it don't work, and then they own it, so. Go ahead, Elmer.
This is the detail. From Sioux Falls Public Works Manual, and here's where I kept working, trying to use they have a X, which is the depth, which it says X plus 0.5 is the pipe depth. You have to chase that down. And then X is insulation depth in feet. Okay, insulation depth in feet. And it never does, at least as far as I can find, never says that X is a depth, that it's got to be buried. We have pipe diameter, we have insulation depth, we have width of insulation, the frost depth, and for me to finally get it to work out, I used the 48 inches of frost depth, gave me 7.9 feet, which the state had said 8 feet. So that's as close as I can come to matching what the state has said. Trying to come up with something. I was trying to figure out why the state, first of all, I couldn't figure out why the state was hung up on the Rapid City detail. And I had to go back quite a ways to find one of the responses from Leah to the state had said, per the Rapid City detail. Oh, so they figured she's using the Rapid City detail. One time in one letter does it say that. So I can't change that.
Yeah. But you feel, after you're looking at it, that might be the way to go forward, or what would your recommendation, way to go forward right now?
I don't think it would cost us essentially anything for Leah to respond back saying, we're not intending to use the Rapid City detail, we want the Sioux Falls detail. And we get rid of that magic 30 inches that was in one of the previous letters that came back from the state. If they turn that down, I think then our only option is to say, what we really want to do is get rid of that insulation around the pipe, which they've griped about all the way along. So whether that insulation is good or bad, the point is they don't want it.
Would maybe approach would be what you said, say we're not going to use the detail Rapid City, we're going to use the Sioux Falls, and we're also going to remove that insulation and stuff. Do you think that might get us a?
Well, that's the last step. I think, okay. The thing I'm relatively sure they'll approve is if we take the crossing out, take the insulation off, I think we still need the concrete encasement, because that has to do with crossing a stream, and put the insulation in per the Sioux Falls detail. And another way to do this is just submit a plan saying this is what we're going to do. We don't have to do it, we say we're going to.
And see if they approve it.
And see if they approve it.
And then if they approve it, then that's the way forward.
Don't send these comments to the state. But, you're trying to think, how do you get yourself, Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. He got his foot stuck in that tar.
I guess what I'm looking for is if you thought that recommending that, and it'll require, more construction, we'll have to look at more funds. But, we've had the 11th letter back already, and until we give, like you said earlier, until we give them something that we say this is what we're gonna do, I think we're just gonna end up getting letter after letter, so.
So it's one of two things: either we just send back a very simple letter saying we didn't mean the Sioux Falls detail, or we didn't mean the Rapid City detail, we meant Sioux Falls, please approve it, and find out if they say, okay, we're happy. If they don't, then the only next step that's reasonable is to take it out and do it per the Sioux Falls detail without the insulation around the plant.
And not in trying to modify how the detail works.
And it's right in the overall picture of how much that sewer line costs. It's not a lot, but it's a bitter pill to go back and take it out. But if that's what it takes to get it approved, because our options beyond that, yes, a pump station would solve the problem, but it's very expensive and you're stuck with that pump station forever and you're only lifting the water, the sewer, a few inches. This is, it's a silly. And another thing's used sometimes what's called an inverted siphon. It's not an inverted siphon, it's just a pressurized sump. But those are a headache because they plug up, they've got to be able to be flushed out and the like. We don't have a good option once we got to this point with that line in place.
And that goes back to the point that it was never submitted for approval to start with. We hope we don't have to go to any other bigger costs like they originally thought. I think Elmer, on your recommendation to just send a letter back and just say we didn't mean the Rapid City, we meant the Sioux Falls. Does anybody want a motion that, make a motion that we have Leah do that at this point? Just to see if they'll come back and say it's okay, and then we'd have to go back and, there would be rework for that then, right? You'd have to do some rework for that to match the Sioux Falls standard then?
Well, yeah, you gotta put the insulation across.
Yeah.
But her detail already shows the insulation installed per the Sioux Falls detail.
Okay.
The problem is, there's that one statement saying per Rapid City detail. And I had to look for it.
And I
I'm not sure
think,
you
and I
would
think,
know right where to find that.
I think in that 11th letter is what they said is, just tell us which one you're gonna use. I think that's kind of what the gist of the 11th letter.
Yeah, they had it bold lettering about the Sioux Falls detail. There was some reason they put that all in bold lettering when they sent it back to us.
I would make a motion to allow ACES to submit the plan back to the A&R under the Sioux Falls standards of submittal with the installation and detail of what you had in your plan. And see where we go from
Is there a
there.
second?
I'll second it, and then I have a question.
That's,
It
second,
just-
more discussion.
I just wanna make sure that there's nothing more in the Sioux Falls detail that then they're gonna ask for. We don't know, okay, thank you for answering that, that was my question, if that's why it was so highlighted, because then there would be more to follow.
Yes, Dan, you had another question.
So then, when we resubmit that under that Sioux Falls standard is what we referenced, that they were still expressing that 2-inch bury difference. Are we able to submit an extra depth bury over that by doing the foam?
Well,
I
I
totally
think
get.
we've got to have the foam because the Sioux Falls detail is the foam.
Correct.
I think the only thing that hung us up, and that's why they're, like 2 letters ago, talked about 30 inches of cover. Because the Rapid City detail, actually it says 3 feet. But 30 inches, let's not try and add 6 inches to it. But I think that's what they read that, it says, look at Rapid City says this much cover, regardless of how much insulation you put in. And they send back saying, nope, can't do it.
Monica, could you grab that 11th letter real quick? Or maybe if you can't grab it quick. I don't know if Elmer has it in his or not, because I think that's, Elmer's getting to the point of what I think of what that 11th letter was, is tell us which detail you're gonna use. But it's been a while since I read that, so.
Let's see if I've got it here, so she won't have to. Monica, do you want to just copy this? Yeah, that's the one.
Is that a concurrence with you that that would be the direction to head?
I mean, I would stand behind my design that I submitted, but again, we're not dealing with reasonable technical issues, so if that's the approach that we'd like to try, we can definitely try it.
And understand, you stand behind your design, understand that. But it's the design that the state won't approve. And that's why we gotta figure something out.
So it says,
Just go ahead, just wait. Elma, did you have an opportunity to read that, maybe think that,
I've read it any number of times
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah.
if I, trying to read what they were telling us, they say, City of Sioux Falls, engineering design standard for public improvements, standard plate 950.17, does not include a minimum depth of cover over the insulation. They told us. And that's why I said, I think, saying that we want to will comply with the Sioux Falls, we get rid of Rapid City saying 30 inches of cover. I'm not sure how they could have been much clearer if you read it the way I'm choosing to read it there, in large black print.
I think what they're telling us, and if you go back and look at letter number 10, they kind of told us that in even more detail than that one, of this or that. And then this one, you know, I think it's, you know, worth going back and doing what Elmer recommended. And Dan, you already made that motion, and the motion was seconded, and we're discussing.
one more question, if I may, directed at you or directed to them.
Yep.
But in this line, I guess it kind of confuses me a little bit where it says, indicate a 4-inch minimum cover is proposed, which will require the minimum width of the insulation board showed would be increased to be approvable. So when it says be increased, are they saying we have to go wider with that insulation than the 4x8?
That's how I interpreted it. But there's no way to secure chunks of foam onto foam in a drainage way to ensure that the insulation would remain in place.
Now,
At
that's
all times.
why I went through and I calculated this thing with 6 foot of cover and then with 7 foot of cover. I kept trying different frost depth. That's the thing that I think they're hanging on is, where did I get here? Frost depth. It says use 6 feet. 6 feet doesn't work. You don't come out with the right numbers. So I went back and I said, okay, 6 feet doesn't work. Let's try 5 feet, let's try 4 feet. Dang, 4 feet gives me the 8 foot width. That's all I could do is try and figure out where they got those numbers from.
So are you thinking in that she should increase her foam over the top then to more than what she has? Also, if she's gonna submit this by that last phrase, do you read that the same as I do?
I think that they're asking, it looks like they want the Sioux Falls standard, but note the department's February 20th letter, and okay, that must be letter number 10, included in minimum depth calculated for 6 inches of cover over the foam board. The submitted plans indicate a 4-inch minimum cover. okay, now, right now, you're talking about a 4-inch cover,
In the one spot, yep, at the drainage.
and then, if they're saying there was a, width calculations, the width calculation was based upon 6 inches of cover, can't, Elmer, that adding those extra 2 inches ain't gonna interfere with any of the things that you have as far as the floodplain, right? Could we have that foot of rise? You know, maybe we should, instead of submitting, like you said, you can't go any wider than 8 foot, because then how do you secure them? Maybe we come back and say that we do, you know, we don't do the 4 inches in your other, as what was in your proposal before, and go to 6 inches.
I mean, I think that would be worth trying if we're just going to ask for approval,
Yeah.
and have them review it.
Yeah, so we just go back and give them the Sioux Falls standard, give them the 6 inches of depth, so that we can stay within the 8 foot, I think that's, and we go that way.
No, I agree. That's what the more I read it, it just
Yeah.
clicked, because she's got 2 4x8s now, one on each side, coming out, correct?
It's 8 feet centered on the pipe.
Correct.
Yep, and it
What-
extends for 200 feet of length,
With the big washers connected to the concrete.
securing it to the concrete encasement.
I just think we just resubmit, saying we're gonna use the Sioux Falls, and go to 6 inches.
I would add that to my motion.
And I will second that addition.
Okay. There's an addition to the motion. Any further discussion on it? The way I understand the motion is that we'll resubmit using this, saying we'll use the Sioux Falls Engineering Design Standard, and also that the drawings and the specifications will show 6 inches of cover other than 4 inches. Does that sound about right, Elmer? I mean, but we're trying to look
Cool,
full.
yes, that's great.
Yeah,
What do you expect me to say?
yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that, you know, this is an attempt, because the next attempt is what you're saying is, we'll have to come back and tell them we're gonna change the
Yeah,
whole
I
thing.
think that's, if they don't accept saying we're gonna use Sioux Falls, and they say, no, they come up with something else, then we just admit they want these taken out, they want the insulation removed from around the pipe, and redo it.
And I think it's, for the cost of what it would be to do that, I think it's worth getting the 12th letter that says it's approved, so I think we should try for it. And if we don't, we got the 12th letter that says we didn't, then we go back and do the other. I think the motion's been made, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? You understand the motion, Vince? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say same. Motion carries unanimous. I want to thank you very much, Alma, Leah, for looking at this. This is something that's been going on for a long time. I really appreciate you looking into it, Elmer, and giving us your wisdom of the way forward. And based upon what the letter comes back, hopefully it'll come back good. If not, we'll be talking again. So.
I don't want to come back and talk about it.
And that's why it's going to work.
Was that everything for me this evening?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leah.
No, it's not.
Okay. Any discussion or questions from the audience? Okay, the next item on the agenda is item number G, Hermosa Hills Drainage. Town will accept Walter Street only after the potholes have been repaired. There needs to be a crown on the road, and mag water on both Walter and Marie needs to be accomplished before we do the final approval Walter Street, and that's pending the contractor to get to the work. Whitney Street Drainage, that's pending for monitoring. The facilities plan for booster water meters possibly to add to USDA is pending. One thing I would like to do is, under the water meters, I'd like to request a motion to have the water meter updates added to the 2024 budget after a, do I have that motion?
Yes.
A second.
I second that.
Any discussion? Yes,
I
Dave?
think it's a good plan to update them and have it to where we know today where our costs are, so that we can go to that.
Yeah. I think it's gonna make the office people real happy. So,
Very happy.
okay, with no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? No opposed, motion carries. Thank you, folks.
So that will be a separate item then on your agenda then?
Yes, that would, we're pulling that out to put it on the,
Old business? Or
yeah,
new
it goes
business?
on,
New
yeah,
business?
yeah, it could go into new
Okay.
business. But a motion was made and approved to actually have it on the agenda, so.
Yeah.
So what's going in the new business?
Do we need a motion to remove just the water meters, means we're already put it someplace, we know it's there? I don't know if we need to carry it in another agenda item, what do you think?
I would make a motion to remove it off of the engineers and put it into new business.
Just the water meters?
Do you have a second on that then?
Sure.
All right, motion made and seconded to remove it, the water meters, from the engineering agenda item and put it under new business. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is J, rural development application, that's pending. The next item on the agenda is planning and zoning. Review of, start off with a review of planning and zoning minutes. They're in the attachment. And we don't do approval of them, we just do a
No,
review.
just a review.
Yes,
I have a question about planning and zoning. What do they really do? What do they really do, planning and zoning?
what planning and zoning purpose is to look at projects that have been submitted. They are, a lot of times on some projects, when we have a lot of construction going, there's actually engineering reports that come back and say whether it needs to go or not go. Kind of approval. Right now, they're part of how we do business. Probably 7 years ago, 5 years ago, the board at that time went in and wanted to do away with planning and zoning. And in order to do that, they had to go and get Mr. Goodwin, the state representative from this year, who goes to here, to actually have a state law change so that could happen. The state law got changed, and the way I understand it, when it came back to the board at that time decided not to go with it. And one of the things that we will be looking at in the future is one of the things that we want to do is look at, how do you want to say it? Streamlining the permitting process. So we'll be looking at different options in the future as to the way to go forward to better streamline how we do business. One of the contractors and the builders had concern of 4 to 6 weeks, to get a permit, and that will be addressed in the future. Yes. So, yes, go ahead.
I can answer that question because I was on the board at the time. At the time, we were getting, when we went to the state to change that law, we were in a very lull of building. And so there wasn't very much for planning and zoning to do. And so that is why we wanted to disband it. And then we got to the point where we were getting way more building permits when when the law passed. And so we opted and voted to keep planning and zoning because we had way more coming. And the purpose of it was technically to save the board a little bit of time in their meetings, because planning and zoning was doing the research on each of the building permits and ordinances. So that was the intent. And to shorten the workload for the board and the time that it takes at the meetings for the board.
But as mentioned, that will be relooked at, because that's one of the things that the contractors that do work in the area, before they come back, they want to have a more streamlined process. So that'll be a future agenda item. So, let's see. That question, I gotta go back and see where I was at. Planning, okay, now on the planning and zoning, permit number 2022-25, revised digging / right-of-way sewer construction, parcel 009318 and 009319. Chuck, is there any update since the last meeting on that?
Had actually 2 different engineers that have looked at it. They have not gotten back to me because they're super busy, but there will be a plan in place before any construction. We're still going to continue to fill because we do have a permit for that, but until water and sewer is extended, then there will be a permit, an engineer's design on that.
Now, engineering design on extending just the sewer side, because the water isn't, aren't you just gonna do like a regular tap and just for those 2 sites, or are you
In
gonna?
order to serve the lower lots, I mean, the ideal situation would be to have water and sewer on Whitney Street. And I don't see that happening right away. It probably will, I don't want to divulge too much, but the 2 upper lots can be serviced with water and sewer now. The lower lots would be the ones that there is an issue with, and I may construct a main line down through there to go to Whitney Street on the water, not the sewer, but the water, to be able to get that, so.
And that'll all come in on whatever you decide when you bring your plans.
Correct. You know, like I mentioned before, 20 years ago when I set the manhole on Whitney and McDermott, that was designed to take sewer from Highway 79 all the way down Whitney Street. So it's a matter of who gets to pay to put it in.
And hopefully
it would
there's,
serve multiple situations going down that street. It would allow sewer to come from 79. It would eliminate 5th Street lift station. It would get sewer to all of those lower lots all the way through. It would eliminate the lift station that Grooms has. Pick up all those other lots all the way through and under the railroad tracks and tie in.
and then when that all happened, there'd probably have to be the lift station down there, that's the problem, probably would have to be upgraded at the same time, probably.
Well, it's designed for, I think it was 60 homes when I put it in there. Because all that stuff over on the street behind me, that sewer was all put in. And then FEMA said, no. So actually those houses were designed in that lift. And those pumps can be upsized, you know, I mean, so.
We'll be waiting on what your engineers have to say. The next item is the 2023-06 commercial remodeling permit at the 250 Main Street storage loft. And I don't see Brad's here to comment on that. He has not requested another evaluation, has he, or another inspection?
Hasn't said anything to me about it.
Okay. So that'll be, yes, Dan?
I thought you were gonna go to him about it when we talked
We
last
talked
time.
briefly, but he didn't say that he wanted it looked at again, so I mean.
Oh, I thought you were gonna approach him and let him know that it needed to happen to do
We
a
have to have
follow-up.
direction from the board to do an inspection.
I would, like to make a motion and that we have Mr. Ferguson go over and do the inspection.
I'll second that.
There's a second. The motion's been made by Dan and seconded by Linda to have Chuck do an inspection, even though Brad hasn't requested one. And then, any further discussion? Yes.
It's just been on the agenda long enough, it needs to be handled.
And within handling, one of the things we'll have to understand is when he does an inspection and we pay for the inspection and if the inspection don't pass, then we need to be ready to take
The next step.
the next step. So,
I
okay.
had a question. What do you want me to look for? I made the recommendations a couple of times and I don't know that one of the major issues was the composite decking. That is not designed to be used inside because it's made from petroleum and it gives off toxic fumes.
And fire flame.
But I was told that somebody looked it up and said that they could tell me where it can be used, so I have not seen that. So in the UBC building code, it clearly states that composite decking is not to be used indoors.
And then what your inspection would end up showing then is that's still there and therefore it don't pass.
And also you stated there was other items that you'd already talked about that needed to be re-inspected that you asked him to do, so
Correct.
you had a punch list, so I'm assuming you'll follow that.
On my further discussion on it is, when we have Chuck go over and inspect it, and the stuff isn't done, if they haven't taken out the decking material that, has issues with not only giving off gases, but it increases the fire flame issues as far as fire protection.
Correct. I can look at my report and see what's been changed and what hasn't, so.
Yeah, and then just do the inspection and yes.
So since the last inspection, I don't think he did anything to change it. So what's the point of another inspection before he changes what needs to be changed?
Well, I don't know if he's gonna change anything. And so what another inspection will do is go over and say you haven't done anything, you haven't changed anything. And then we'll come back, they'll come back to the board and then we need to look at the next step. Okay, it hasn't passed, you're not willing to do some of the recommendations that were there. And therefore, I'd be looking for a motion from the board that it be removed.
Correct. Or satisfy what needs to be satisfied.
Yeah. But I think Linda had a point that it's been there for a long time. The inspection will say whether he did it or not, and if he didn't, then we come back and like we said, we look for a motion. I think Dan would make the motion, so that it be removed. Yes, ma'am.
How many year lease does he have on that building, Vince? It's a city building.
Until January?
Yes, it's a one-year lease.
So January, it comes due in January. Okay. Well, and I think that's something we need to look further into too, renewing his lease. If we're going to, if he hasn't done. Okay. Because it is a city building.
Yes, Chuck?
They went to quite an expense putting that in there. So, I saw some rough figures on what it cost and, if it isn't removed and he doesn't renew, then it's probably gonna be an issue, the town's gonna have to pay to take it down.
And that's what we want to resolve, that the town don't get cost with that expense, that the expense be placed upon him. And your inspection is just the first step of getting information, and then the board will go further with it.
Excellent.
Thank you for your comment on that. Okay, the motions. Is there any further discussion? Okay, the motion was made that Chuck will do the inspection and report back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Yes.
I have one question too, I guess for Mitch. How does that work now with Mrs. Ferguson? If she's voting on this and her husband is doing the work, is that considered a conflict? And she wouldn't be allowed to vote on it with him? Doing the work.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I would suggest that she never vote on
I wasn't even thinking.
I didn't think of it either
I
until,
wasn't
on
thinking.
any matter where he.
I was just
earned
thinking
money.
about town property and
Yeah, so,
So one abstain?
One abstain, 3 ayes, and 1 abstain.
thank
And
you,
it still carries.
thank you.
The next motion item is, I request a motion to approve permit number 2023-19, permit to work in the right-of-way at 315 Main Street. This item was approved and forwarded by planning and zoning to the main board. Do I have a motion?
I made a motion.
I'll second for discussion.
Open discussion.
On this application, it says level front yard, Chuck will put in piers.
I
What are the
think,
piers for?
this one.
I don't know anything about piers.
Yeah, it's what it looks like it says to me.
and I think this was the original permit that you renewed, right, just for your regular digging permit. And what we're looking at to approve now is just the working in
Just the right of way.
just in the right of way. The original permit has been extended.
Well, it should have probably been redone, or that should have been taken off, I guess. It, to me, throws flags up that, what are you putting piers in the front yard for then, you know?
That was the original plan before we did the basement.
So P and Z didn't notice that, or nobody else either, and they just approved it, but.
Well, no, what the thing that they're looking at right now, that permit there is the main digging permit. It was just added to the package. What we're looking at approving today is, and that's what planning and zoning looked at to approve, was the working in the city right away. And that's what the permit is. Jill attached all that stuff just for information, and I understand that you actually did a renewal on that a couple times, that whole permit? Yeah.
And then then it says then the renewal is till 9/16/2023. So I'm assuming then you're gonna try to cite it and stuff yet, before that renewal? So that was the only reason this was put in. No, I understood this part of it, but when this got put in, I thought, are the two together then? And that's why, so yeah, okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Floyd.
I would make a motion to remove item D from the agenda.
Do you have a second on that?
Sure.
Any discussion on removing item D from the agenda? If no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Now we go to Public Works Committee report. Mr. Ferguson.
fence. Assuming that Dan's still covering some of the washouts and what's been going on there, so not much to discuss there. Street lights, I've repaired 3 since, these are the towel lights, not big lights, these are just the ones that are around town since the last meeting. And, so I think we got them all. Does anybody notice any of the else?
No,
Okay. Water, submitted all the quarterly reports, including, another RAD. And we also did SOCs, which means there's SOCs and VOCs. SOCs are synthetic organic chemicals. And that is man-made. So if those get into the water, then it's due to farming or something, fertilizer or something like that. VOC is volatile, which means it's petroleum or some type of chemical of that sort that gets into the water. So those tests are taken yearly, and some of them are quarterly. I mean, they're go 3-4 years before you have to take them. We just did the lead copper. Again, Jill has been working very diligently on the state's recommendation on all the service lines. They're trying to indicate that somewhere in town we still have lead lines, which we never had in the entire history of the town. We've had galvanized lines for 20 years before. 99 and 2000 was a huge water project for the town. We went and put in all the brand new mains and all service lines up to the property where the curb stops were. So consequently, everything is PVC or black coil. We were allowed to use black coil in the state plan because this soil is not compatible with copper, and due to the expense, it pretty near put the project out of reach if we'd had to use copper for all the service lines. So those tests have been taken, and in the past we've had 5 sample areas, and that is the same thing this year. What has happened is you pick houses that were built in that era that had copper plumbing. In the last few years, it's all PEX plumbing, which is all plastic. They had a plastic that was called Genova, and it was a glued joint plumbing, but it never got off the ground very good. So any of these houses that originally have copper plumbing in them, what happened was the solder they used on the joints had lead in it. So consequently, that's what they're checking for, to see if that lead contaminant is in these copper lines. We've never had one that was positive in the last 5 or 6 years that I know of that we've been testing it. So obviously, there's no contaminant there. The lower pump house, we've had some activity down there that I don't like, so consequently, I think we should concentrate on putting the chain link fence up, and I'm changing the locks on the pump house itself. Now there is, I believe, 3 keys to the pump house. Chuck has one, I have one, Hawkins Chemical has one, and then there's a spare in the office. So I've bought the locks and deadbolts to change that out. So we'll be doing that soon.
There's been no damage or anything to vehicles or anything that's in
Not
there?
really. I hate to say too much until we could have more evidence.
Okay.
So, the changing the locks, I believe, is going to maybe stop what's happening.
We did have 2 bids on that chain link fence that were already here. We contacted 2 companies, we could see if they'll re-honor that, and that was bid to use the used material we had down there, as
Yeah.
well as adding new where they needed to, and utilize that material.
Well, I think once that project is done, we need to get rid of that surplus, because it's just the berries to mow around and take care of and stuff, it's just,
A lot of times the bid is cheaper to go all new than try to
It is.
fit together all the old
that
stuff.
was proved on the lagoon. I mean, it was almost several $1,000s difference to use stuff, but, you know, if you wanna try to do it in-house, that's not a problem either, but I think that
The bids this time to use the same guy that did it down there was cheaper to use the new stuff up. Didn't have a problem, and it's not like it's in bad shape, it's in excellent shape.
well, the problem that you have is there isn't enough of one kind.
Correct, and we had enough
That's the
for
problem.
2 sides of it to do, and then the rest was gonna be new, coming out through the front. So we had a good plan on doing that, and utilize it and use it up. And we had posts, gates, you know, that's a lot of
At the time, it was a
expense.
good deal when we bought it, we got it from Hot Springs, and it was a surplus thing, and we had big plans for it, and didn't really materialize.
Okay. Linda?
The problem down at the pump house, has that been, that problem been taken to law enforcement, or is that a,
Well, it just, you know, some serious things have happened that I can't really, we have some corrective measures there. I mean, we're going to put some cameras there and change the locks and see if the problem stops.
Do you
So,
have
It's
any
scary.
comment, Dan?
Oh, I was just saying it'd probably be a good thing to involve law enforcement, being our main well, only well, that if you've got that kind of activity.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to
Well-
contaminate a water source.
the problem of it is we can't prove it. I mean, without some cameras or something, and I just didn't want to put it on KOTA that we want to put cameras
No,
down there, but I mean.
And the other side of it is letting them know to
Yeah,
patrol a little bit more and watch a little bit more, I think would.
okay, on to,
Monica had a question.
So he's talking about the cameras. Do we need a motion for him to put the cameras there?
I can't hear what you said.
Are you
Do we
wanting
need a motion for you to put the cameras there? Is that gonna be an expense?
Or there's some that,
Well, you can make a motion to it, I've got some I can put up there temporarily. But if you think you want to buy some, that's fine too, I mean.
What are we looking at for the cost, or do we need to get a price to?
we'd have to look at get a price before we could make a motion to do it. If Mr. Ferguson is willing to use his to gather some data, I think we let him use his to gather the data. And then if we think it's a long-term thing that we need, then we need to do a research on what they cost to put them in. So,
Well, and the thing of it is, I mean, it isn't any different, we've not had nothing up on Tower Hill, because that's got 6-foot security fence around it, and it's about, you know, so. But this down here is a little too obvious, you know, I mean, there's people who pull in there all the time, you don't know what they're doing, you know. Gates are locked, but, you know, the water buffalo could get through there if they want to.
We have the camera at the yard waste dumpsters. I wonder if our door security system has the ability to satellite that far too with a remote.
Have to ask, I don't know.
yeah, that's something we could look at
I
in
don't
the
know how
future.
far it can go, so.
I think that's a big recommendation for the future, but I think if Chuck is just willing to put them
Exactly.
on now, let's just
I was just thinking.
get some more information, because it,
Well,
think
it's
we
kind of-
need-
It's kind of a fine line when you can't prove anything, I mean, you know, I suspect I'll use that word.
It'd be nice
So
to,
we need to just, you know, get it cameraed up and go from there, change the locks and. Sewer, we have some complaints on smell. We have people who live down there that don't have a problem with it. Seems to be one person in particular, so, the color on Pond A is pink. To remedy that, you put peroxide in there. So I have contacted Hawkins Chemical, and all they have on hand is a 55-gallon drum, and that's way more than what we need. So they've got some 5-gallon containers coming in. I talked to Danny Ayers about it, and he actually got the chance to look at it visually, and so we didn't really come to any conclusion on the odor control last time. The 5-gallon pails are $750 a piece, and then we talked about the wind socks and that kind of stuff. So then it kind of went downhill, thinking that if we're going to start construction on it, that maybe that was a waste, but you know, maybe it's not a waste. This lady right here lived right next to it, and I let her tell her story.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, sometimes it smells a little bit, but my dad did that, same thing Chuck does for a living, and yeah, people used to call our house, complain. But, you know, it is what it is.
Lagoon has been there since 1961. So, new people that are moving in, you know, I mean, and putting up new structures or whatever, or buying old, it was existing. So, I don't know how far you want to go, Mitch. So,
Well, this is the only complaint we get, right?
yeah, there was a letter written that was concerning the lagoon and
I
the
think
smell
Jerry
and
saw
all
it.
the stuff, yeah.
What's that?
You saw it.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's up to the board how you want to address it.
What, Mitch, I mean, we're talking about spending some pretty big dollars. Do we go forward? Do we
For what? On what? For what?
doing the smell when there's one person?
Yeah, I
had a
don't think
complaint?
it's an issue.
I know there's other people that talk, and there's different, lagoons by their natural, how they operate, there's certain times of year where they're gonna turn over, they're gonna do things, they're gonna be,
Well, there are certain
Capers
times, you
swings.
know, when they go into the turnover, there's obviously, they've been covered up for the winter.
I mean, did the state come in and say that there was some problem here? Did the state was involved in these
Well,
discussions, right?
It's claiming it's causing health issues.
Well, okay. I'm not concerned about what she claims. What I wanna know is if there's some issue with the state coming in saying we need to rectify a problem. It doesn't appear from the emails that I've read that that's the case. I have read an email from a legislator who,
I don't know if you've ever had the chance to smell the Rapid City dump, but
Exactly.
that covers quite an area. You smell that clear to Buffalo Gap on a good day.
so when you say there's costs involved, I don't know what that means.
well, in order to put some of the chemicals he's talking into it to try to,
How much are we talking? I thought you just said it was
Well,
$750.
the smell of them is about $700 a pail.
And how many
I'm
pails?
guessing 5-gallon. I'm guessing that it may possibly take 2 of them to do it.
So
To
$1,500.
reduce the smell. The other thing is that one of the things they suggested was wind socks that you hang on the fence.
Windsock?
Yes, you know what a windsock looks like.
No.
Like
For an
an
airplane?
You've never been at an airport?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they put some type of a
Yeah,
chemical
what's,
stuff in it.
then you put the smell them inside the windsocks, and you can actually adjust that if it's not strong enough or not too strong, whatever. And what that does is carries on the air, and the only time we really have a problem is when the wind comes out of the southeast.
And you can smell it.
And it comes in, clear into town, you know.
Yeah, I get it at my house.
But the next day, you probably don't smell it. It's up to the board what you wanna do. I'd just be more than happy to dump some smellum in there so it smells like lilac water.
I think Linda had her hand up first.
Well, the majority of the problem comes in, I believe, from people moving in from the cities that they don't have this issue because they have facility plants, you know? And so people come in from the city and they don't realize there's a lot of things that change when you come to a small community in a small town. And, I mean, I understand their issue with it. I've lived here 30 plus years now, and I've smelled it on and off throughout the 30 plus years. And the only time it's really annoying is when you're trying to have a barbecue. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't bother me too much, you know. Health issues then become a different issue. And now, in the climate that we're in, there's a lot more complaints about health issues and different things like that. So that would be my only concern. I personally would lean towards doing nothing because of the project that's pending and coming soon. But
Just Dan.
And I agree, I mean, we discussed this before. The people knew when they moved in and bought the property what was located there, and they've been here for all of this period. You know, we've been next to the landfill for 10 plus years, and I mean, it's a circumstance you learn to live with, as what we've lived here for 30 plus years, and we get the same circumstances. So with our projects coming up, we chose then not to do anything because of where we're going with the lagoon system and what we want to move forward with. So I feel we're in that same circumstance now, that we have, what, 12 other residences down there, and we have one that is the only one that is upset about this circumstance, and Leonard's have been there for 50 plus years.
These people actually moved and built right back in the same place. So that'll tell you something.
So I would make a motion that we just stay the course. We're involved with the state. We're putting in a new system.
Do we really need a motion for that?
Well, if we're talking about buying pails of chemical, if we're not gonna buy the pails, then fine, if we are.
I mean, we'd have to have a
we
motion.
don't.
We have to make a motion. We'd have to make, is there someone who want to make a motion that we go ahead and buy the chemicals? And if no one makes that motion, then I think we just.
And do we need to do anything with Mitch to have him reply to them on their emails, or we do nothing?
And they'll just stir the pot.
So just leave it alone.
There's that old saying that you can satisfy 99% of the time, but then that 1%, you could spend
We won't.
90% of your time trying to
Write a
satisfy.
5-page letter, it won't matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else then, Chuck, under public works?
No, that pretty much covers it. All I got going right now.
I think Dan has,
You wanna make some copies, please? For each one of the board members. Thank you.
The mowing has been horrendous. Just, we mowed everything 3 times. Tower Hill, the steep part of it, been hit twice. We usually only do that once around fair time, but with the excess moisture this year, it just, we probably mowed the lower road 5 times.
You have a clarification
Just-
question?
No, I had one more question for Chuck on sewer. On that, we did all them tests on that ammonia levels, and them tests come back, I'm sure with the claims, that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
But did we have any indications of ammonia coming from any of them areas that were higher than normal?
Not really. And this subject was brought up with someone in the office that told them that the ammonia levels were higher than they'd ever been, ever, so that was not a good thing to do. But actually, there really wasn't any pinpointing of anything, you know. I don't know if you ever got a chance to clean out a chicken coop pan when you was a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Then ammonia is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it also will come from human waste, or cows, or anything. It just kind of
Right.
goes along with waste.
And we said that.
So it's, you know, we didn't, and it's pretty expensive to get that done.
Well, and it was a state requirement, and that's why I wondered. I haven't been up, my apologies for not reading the report, but.
One of the things was, all of that data was sent to the engineer, and there's not been any recommendations to test any other areas again. That particular testing, we tested the manholes, 6 different areas.
Right.
And if that proved to be stronger than some areas than others, then she never indicated that we need to do more testing.
Well, my other question was, do we need then to direct her to send them to the state? Now that we've received them levels, because that's part of it to incorporate for the report for the lagoon.
Now, Danny Ayers said there's ways to take care of that, but, you know, so if it becomes a problem, I mean, in the design or whatever, there are some corrections that can be made.
Well, I think they need to know though, we went to them efforts to test and to that cost, so.
The data was sent to her, whether she sent it to the state, I don't know.
Should we make a motion to require her to send them test results to the state then?
You want to make a motion?
I would,
Okay.
that we ask ACES to send them sewer test results that the state asked for to, I suppose it's Tina would be the one that we'd send them to. I'll make that motion.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I see it. Yes, Linda.
I might have missed it, I'm sorry, but the level of the sewer lagoons is, with the rain and the wind and we're doing okay still?
Yeah, it's holding its own. I mean,
Good.
I want to address this color issue right away. Hawkins is gonna drop that stuff off at time this week, and if you'd like to come down and do the Missouri boat ride again, you're certainly welcome.
What day?
There's a couple of ways you can apply it. You can dump it in the closest manhole, and I believe to get a good covering that we should take it out of the boat, or go around the perimeter
Yeah.
in the middle and get everything covered at one time, rather than waiting, you know, for it to do its thing for a week or 2
Yeah.
weeks or whatever. I think the distribution of being out in the pond is probably
Yeah.
no fishing tackle required.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know. I'll come watch.
Like
Take
you did-
take
like you did the
pictures.
last time.
Take pictures, yeah, no hush.
By the way, that imprint's still on there, I looked at it.
That was so funny.
We'll
And
move
so
on to the
lucky,
streets.
sorry.
That's it. For me.
On streets? Yeah.
Yeah, I just put costs together for that Dollar General area for to spread the load of the 22 ton there, wheel pack grade, and take it as far as we can to that radius, is what we referenced coming off of there, of Walter Street. So, coming off of that approach.
Yeah, I went down there the other day, and, because some of them potholes were that deep, and I dug out all the way through the bottom of them. I requested Monica to have some gravel sent over there so I could use that to put in. That never happened, so I used my own gravel I requested we had gravel placed over at, and then I asked you about it, and you said, no, you hadn't got it down yet. So, and then I ended up using probably 5 big buckets out of my big loader to do it, which I don't have a problem with, but I didn't have enough there, so some of the potholes are starting to come back in, so.
How many yards is your bucket?
I don't know how many yards it is, but I'm not worried about it.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's a 1.5 yard bucket, and you use 5 buckets then?
No, it's not a 1.5 yards, I don't think, because it's Cat's biggest skid steer. It has a.
Oh, it's a skid steer then?
Yeah, it's not a loader, so it's not a loader.
So most of the buckets, like on a big one, like our track steer, is a 1/2 yard, is what they usually.
Yeah, this is a little bigger because it's the biggest one Cat makes. So, I'm not worried about that. I just needed more gravel there. So I think the potholes, there's some of them you might have to dig down again before you spread out on it. That's all I'm saying. So, and does that estimate include doing some of the pothole?
Normally what I do on them is I spread it thick over the top, is what I've done for however long, the last 20 years, and they've held.
Yeah,
But you gotta patch them wide.
Yeah, and one of the things where the big ones are the issue is you have the concrete here, and then you did real good at packing in that milling.
Right.
That stayed real solid, just like the concrete.
Needs more.
But then, right at the edge of that, that's where we're having the issue, and that's where it's breaking and popping out. So I don't know if we gotta blend that in, so we don't really have that 2 different materials there. We just go from the concrete out to the road level.
What my thoughts were is to bring another couple buckets of millings over there and drop right at that coming off and build it back up. And then, like you say, then come over the top with the gravel. That's what we've done at the school, and it's worked really well. They blend well then.
Okay. And so your 390 would cover that?
Yes.
Can I interject something here?
Yes.
And I don't know if this applies or not, but I'm gonna throw this out, because I did some math here, I don't know if we're paying trustee Holsworth more than $5,000 for services or not, but state law provides, and maybe you guys already know this,
Right.
that a trustee cannot earn more than $5,000 per year
Correct.
from the municipality. So are we still good on that?
Yeah. I've never done anything.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Is that including the board meeting payments?
No.
Just
This is
the-
outside of the trustee work.
Yeah.
This
It
is
wouldn't be-
where he's actually, the board agrees to hire him, just like you'd be agree to hire another.
Unless he's doing a municipal ambulance service, then it doesn't count. Yeah, we don't have that here. So it's $5,000, and that's the same for you too, right?
Exactly.
So we all know that. I just want to make sure everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
No.
Because I did started doing the math here on the dumpsters. It said $300 a month, and it starts adding up.
No, and I would just throwing hypothetical on that. Mr. Ferguson's got that under his contract, and it just lets him know where the maximum was on that. And then for the Miller Construction is the other part of it, where we have a bid in our file for him to finish that alley from before. And I just asked if he would honor that cost from last year. He said he would.
And that's the
we had-
1,600.
No, Miller Construction was to do the alley between 3rd and 4th.
Oh, there's not a price on that then?
Right, because there's a bid here for that from Miller, and I just asked if he would still honor that. And that was a motion and approved last year also, that we never got to, weather changed, and then we had all that water coming down that alley, and we put in river rock to satisfy it and pack it in, and then we were gonna come over with limestone. That's behind Joe and Brandy's over here. So that's what that is, and then storm damage is the 1,600 to go up and down all the streets and fill in all the storm damage shoulders, edges, everything that's cut out 4 to 6 inches deep in some of them areas.
Okay. Let's look at the first item first, and is there a motion to have Dan work on over by the Dollar General at the cost of $390? Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I guess I'll second it.
Open to discussion. One of the things I looked at that, I was gonna volunteer and just do that, but then the gravel, I never got gravel delivered over there. Looking at the cost, I don't think it's out of line for spreading it, working the manholes. Anyway. Any,
I would like to make a motion that we table the other.
yep, we're just handling one at a time here. And if there's no further discussion, go ahead.
And if you wanted to volunteer, I don't have a problem with that either. I'd make a motion to have Miller deliver the gravel if you wanted to spread it and do it too. So that's
That's
up to you.
That's one of the things I was gonna request a motion where to have them do that.
So would I call Miller to deliver the grad? I haven't done that before, so never really
I
worried
don't have a
about that.
problem doing it too. It just gives the direction. Just depends on what they want to do. If they, you want to do that, then I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If you want me to do it, I'll do the job and have Miller deliver the gravel and level it. So that's up to you.
And there is a motion on the floor to have him do that. If there's no further discussion, yes, go ahead.
So does this cost include the gravel?
No, it's all plus
Yeah.
material.
And the gravel,
So then we
there's-
have to get a bid on the gravel.
No, we've got 6 loads approved already.
yeah. And that's what I was wanting with one of those loads, so. Any further discussion? And, yes,
I don't know, there's no discussion. I guess I just need the confirmation that yes, you're gonna volunteer to do it, or no, you want Danny to do it. I mean, if you're gonna volunteer, I'm gonna vote to have you volunteer because it's gonna save the town money. See,
I agree there.
I mean, so, in my opinion, the ball's in your court right now, Jerry. So,
yeah, because I looked at volunteering, I never got the gravel. I'm a little, the time frame is when I could have done it. It's gonna be a while yet.
okay,
So I think the motion's on the table to
okay.
approve Dan to do it for the 390.
390, yeah.
Yeah, 390, 390, yeah. All in favor, say aye.
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 All
Opposed?
abstain.
Yep, all motions carried. I think, and I'm not familiar with the storm drainage. I think I would like to see that, go around and look at that and see what there is. And I think what Don's concerned is also to do a walkthrough so we know,
Yep,
actually know what we're buying.
yep.
And I don't know what was the bid from Miller.
We'll have to dig that back out.
Yeah. So I guess I just looking for a motion, and then on the dumpsters, I think it's clearly in Chuck's contract, he has the you know, for the backhoe work by the hour, and so it's clearly in his contract. I think we would rather leave it there, and there's times when you can't do it, so go ahead.
I know we've got his hourly in there, but he has never put a physical figure together of what it's gonna cost us. How many times a week are you gonna push it down? Are you gonna push it 5 times a week, 6 times a week? Is it gonna cost us an hour?
That's why it's not stated clearly there, because you can only push it down when it needs it. I mean, you're not gonna go in and mess with it if it doesn't need it, so.
And it's,
The first time I was going by to work on the Ferguson lift station, so as I went by, I just pushed them down, and so it isn't a big deal, but it takes about a half an hour to push them down, so, you know, you're looking at $35, $40 to push them down, and about 4 times, and they gotta go away, because you just can't push them down anymore.
yeah, I think they did replace one of them that was full.
Already, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think if within his contract, he has the backhoe hourly rate under his contract, so I think he has the option to do that then. Yes, go ahead.
But it isn't under the job description of his agreement, of his public works agreement, and that's what we need to have. Is that it is a description of that in there, just as we have the snow removal listed separately, or what your duties are for sewer, what your duties are for water, so.
It's not in the contract, so, I mean.
So for him,
If you want
that's
to
why.
continue doing it, that's fine.
Pardon?
So if you want to continue doing it, that's fine.
No, either way, I'm just saying, if you're gonna do 35, 40 bucks a time and you're pushing it 4 times a week, then that's 160 bucks a week times 4 is 600 and some dollars a month then,
Yeah,
that we're gonna be into for a cost.
well, and then you have to look at the fact it's cheaper to pull them than it is to push them down, you know, I mean, so it isn't, I don't think they need it that often.
Well, as I was doing before when I had my file on it, there was 12 to 14 times a week that you'd be pushing them down to keep them down so you could get a full month out of that dumpster before you had to have them dumped. So that's what we were doing before, is going a full month.
What's the pole fee to have one pulled and replaced?
350 bucks a month.
For the
For
250,
Thank you for attending.
Yep.
that's what's in my head now, it's 259
I
per,
thought it was 300 bucks a pole,
per one.
but
I can double check.
I make a motion, we leave it as it is for right now and table it until next time and do some more study on it.
Yeah, on all 3, until we find out on all 3. Anybody second the motion then?
well, I can't on this, but
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, motion made and second to table the bottom 3 items, to do more research and do site visits, and to see what Miller's cost actually is. Motion's been made and seconded to table the bottom 3 items. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
I'll abstain again.
All opposed? Okay.
And
Yes, sir.
if I may, then on the dumpsters, then what are we gonna do? If we don't have an agreement, then as he's pushing them down, then we're not being charged for them now, or we, since we don't have a bid yet?
No, I mean, what's been done so far, there's no charge on it, but
Thank you.
if we're gonna establish a charge, then we need to know when it's gonna start.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, so if you'll put that in a written description and bring it in, that'd be great. Thank you.
And one of the things, I'm kind of gathering all the information on what's your next item on it is agreement for performance of services of the public works and town's maintenance. That's pending, you know, we work in the work session, and I've gotten some information on the CMOM and looking at the other contract to come up with something like that, but we're gonna shortly after when the budget's done, we're probably gonna have to start looking at putting that together. So that's pending for right now. Chuck Irvine's ongoing, expenses for training is ongoing. Next item was Walter Street maintenance at gravel. That was already taken care of with the motion, and Dan is gonna do that. And okay, there was a concerned citizen that bring in a comment about there's some no parking signs down on Ferguson that were laying down or not where they're supposed to be. Just request a motion to have the no parking street sign put back up on the Ferguson Street.
I don't know who took them down. I mean, they're not broke off, so they had to pull them.
Someone said that they thought it might have happened during when the fiber optics came through.
Oh, that could be.
Do we need a motion?
None of them were really in the road for that.
Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Is that part of his,
right,
okay, if that's part of his deal, then yeah,
yeah,
we just tell him to do it then.
yeah.
Please.
You know where it's at?
Please do it.
Yeah.
Please. It's in the picnic shelter. It's my group.
Okay,
Now we go to Monica.
Okay, I have, for monthly financials, I have bank statement reconciliation and the monthly report in the packet. Any questions about it?
thought it looked very good.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to sit down and have Monica explain all the stuff and how it's in there, and yeah, she's doing an excellent job, and that system is pretty awesome, so. With all the information that can be brought out, so.
Department updates. That meeting was rescheduled with the governor's office. I can't even tell when it's exactly. Jill was the one working on it.
Yeah, and she's trying to work for something next week, and
Is that one?
It's actually a different
Thursday.
one than last year. This is more for, like, I know Hermosa Connects, like, we'll come talk to them, just,
Oh,
in
okay, this is
general-
different, this is different than the economic,
it is different.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. We received the contract for the mosquito grant. We received $1,299 for that. And the supplies I ordered already, so I'll just send an invoice to them to finish up the process of receiving the money.
I have a question on the
Yep.
mosquito side of it. How much has Monty spent so far, do you know?
I don't know. I asked him to tell me the times, kind of give me some kind of paperwork of what days and what times he worked on it, but I'm still waiting on him
And the
to.
chemical, so that way we can have him advance, because they are nasty, so
Yeah,
that, I'd like to know.
but he's been working quite a bit on it.
Yeah, he's
I've
in got
heard
more
and-
pellets and stuff today
Yeah.
to put out in some of the free water.
But I know we had leftover from last year, and then we ordered another batch for this year, so we should be good.
Good, thank you, I'll look forward to that.
I have a question.
Yes.
We're talking about the mosquito spraying. What? I know we've had complaints, people that don't want that near their yard. So what have we done there? How often has he sprayed since the last meeting? I mean, do we know? Are we making him?
I asked him
Tell
to
us.
tell me when he's gonna spray, but he said it's kind of hard for him to know in advance because of the weather and the winds. So I don't know. I mean, I can only ask, but I don't get much information.
Well, there it can't be. That's the problem.
You haven't had any more complaints though, have you?
No, but
No.
we did look into it. That chemical is not poisonous for plants, animals, or humans.
Even honeybees, I mean, that was Brett and Amber that did the research on
Yeah.
that because of their hives and stuff, and it doesn't affect any of them
No, it does
either.
not, so people shouldn't be afraid of it.
So can we go back to him doing it when the temperature's right, the rain is right, the?
Well, he's been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
We
been
haven't
doing
stopped
it.
him,
Haven't
we haven't
stopped.
stopped him,
Okay.
he's doing it,
Yeah.
and,
So we did it at 6:30 the other morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so, no, that's still ongoing.
okay, good.
More for department updates is Jill wants to have 2 vacation days on the 27th and 28th of this month. So I don't know, do we need a motion to approve it or?
It's
Just an
it's
FYI.
It's earned vacation, right? Yeah,
So
I just
just
say
letting
it's
you
a-
know, 27th, 28th, she will be out of the office. On the 26th, I'll probably come in at noon. My mom's leaving that day, so it'll be a mess. But I will still come in at around noon. For department updates, I think that's all. Grant research, just keep looking what's out there. 2024 budget, we set 3 days for the board to meet on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of August, which will be done with a new finance officer. Microphone research. I did ask other finance officers what they use. I got some answers, but it looks like it can go all the way from $3,000 to $5,000 for setup and installment. So I would suggest to include that in the next year's budget.
any concerns about waiting until we do that?
And that's what I got answers. It is expensive.
Very expensive.
And that's for the individual ones that wireless,
Yes, the
Bluetooth, that would
wireless
set here in
and,
front of each one of us, and then one. at the-
Most
on
of them, the
podium.
whole system has, so you can do the online as well.
You want video or you want just audio?
I don't know, depends on the board.
Maybe that's just to have audio.
Yeah,
I myself am good where we're at, but
There's some of the people in the audience aren't able to hear. Like my voice, I don't think anybody can say they don't hear it. I think your voice, anybody, but as other people talk, they talk softer, and we need to make sure that we have the ability to make sure everybody who comes to the meeting can hear what's going on. So I don't have a problem with, go ahead, Linda, first.
No, well, it's not on that subject.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on another subject
Okay.
she's talking about.
Okay. To look at it and get more information and put it on the next budget. Look at putting it on the next budget.
okay.
you said the budget was when?
August 15th, 16th, and 17th.
And we have a board meeting on the 15th then?
Yep.
So we're
Let's
gonna
see, the
do it.
first and fourth, yeah, it is 1 plus 14.
So just for the budget would be 16th, 17th.
And
Do we want to
possibly
do
18th.
18th?
We 3 days is what it usually takes before you can,
If we get done in 2, awesome.
yeah. and then-
But, you know, so we should do 16th, 17th, 18th then?
Yep.
So we don't
I would-
run into our board meeting that night.
Get to see each other 4 times in a row, that'd be good. Yes.
Oh.
4 times, yes.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank
We
you for
did-
input, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
For departments updates, I just remembered we did put out the notifications about the water usage restrictions. Haven't heard anything from people yet. So far so good. And the last item, town office personnel. We had an interview today, right?
yep, we had a person submit for the finance officer position. She submitted an interview, we looked at the interviews, or the resumes. Pass one down in here. And based upon the interview and the resume and the employee's past history,
Gail Moniker?
Yeah,
Okay,
and like I say, based upon
not a no-brainer.
I don't know, she's overqualified, I don't know if she should fit the position.
You just couldn't stay away.
But anyway, one of the things that she's looking at, she's retired from the state system, and she's limited per calendar year to 1,250 hours, I think, 1,250 hours per calendar year. And so that won't affect her between now and January. What we want to do is bring her on as temporary and continue to look for a permanent person if we can find it. Because we haven't had someone come in for permanent. She's already said that, yeah, between now and December or January, that's not an issue. She needs to do the full-time, 32 to 40 hours a week's not an issue. But hopefully we can find somebody in that time. But it's critical we get somebody on now, especially with the budget coming up. And Monica we need to have her have input with them. So the committee, the finance committee, recommendation to the finance committee and to the rest of the board is that we go ahead and hire her. So I'd like to make a motion, all in favor of hiring Gail to the finance position. May I have a motion for that?
I make a motion that we hire Gail.
Do I have a second?
I will for discussion. So what do we decide on wages then?
What the wages are right now until the wages are the same as what they are for Monica now until the budget time, and then we have to relook at it at that time.
And we're at what?
20?
20.
So there's no, she's happy with, she knew that's what it would be, so we didn't have to offer anymore, so that would be kind of in there.
And then benefits, other than that, then is she going to need health insurance or?
No, I don't,
I don't think she ever had
She's
the
never
health
used health
insurance.
insurance.
No, she didn't before, and that's why I didn't know.
And there will be, as far as her retirement, there will still be a state matching or the town match
6%.
of 6%.
She will do the South Dakota retirement.
Yeah. So, but the way it works is it doesn't actually go into her retirement. There's some special fund that her 6% goes into, and then at some time in the future she can take that money out. One of the things, if she goes over the 27 or the 1,250 hours, then she loses 15% of her finance. And we're hoping that she'll get here and really enjoy it and just say, yeah, quit looking, so.
And then she'll just get the normal paid holidays, all of that stuff like we had before. And
Yeah,
only just no insurance, she'll be considered then temporary at
well,
Until
she's,
January.
part-time.
no, not part-time.
Until January.
It's pretty much full-time, and the only reason we're saying temporary is because we still want to keep looking. And we can't say it's filled and then keep looking. So we're just saying it's temporary and then we keep looking.
So then we need the motion to say temporary full-time?
Yeah. That'd be fine.
Okay?
I make a motion to hire Bill temporary full-time.
Yeah, we just add that to it, so we just have the right heading going into the motion. I appreciate that.
There were no other applicants.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you get the addition onto the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We got a new finance officer. Train her well.
And then when you get tired of hay, you come back here, because that'll happen. Just tell-
Hopefully not.
There is,
Okay. Now, the next item, as we move forward then, Gail's been hired. She wants to start on Monday.
24th,
On Monday, so she'll be starting on.
not this Monday, the next Monday. Is it? Is
No.
it this Monday?
yeah.
Yeah,
It is
we're
this
already
one.
we're already into the 20s this week. So
Goodness,
yeah,
weeks fly.
yeah, we need to have as much time with you carry over as possible. Moving on to old business.
I'll make a motion, we remove that then, and is there any of them other ones?
Microsoft phone research, I don't know, do we still need it? If we gonna do it for the budget,
For the,
microphones?
if they're, for the budget, we're gonna go into the budget,
Just be removed from
unless
here.
you want it to go under new business on the
No,
agenda.
I think we know it goes into the,
So
we don't need to carry that for something that we've already decided is destination.
So we could do E and F.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to remove items from the agenda, 12, E, and F. Any discussion? There you go, discussion.
Not discussion, other thing.
Oh, did I misread it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. If no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now moving on to item 13 on the agenda, old business, 13A. Annexation. And we have people that volunteered for the annexation. Has there been any update on anything?
No,
Where
I
it's-
haven't had the chance to get to it.
But we will be getting to it and sending the package out. Are you guys all your questions have been answered and you're ready to move forward? Okay. Okay. It's
You
been,
mean voluntary annexation, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
not volunteers.
yeah, it's volunteers, voluntary.
Somebody wants to voluntarily annex to the town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. You can look at volunteers now.
Gotcha.
should be rewarded then?
Yeah, the
Volunteer,
voluntary.
Voluntary annexation.
voluntary
ARY.
annexation.
They're gonna volunteer to be annexed.
Yeah, they fill out that petition.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think they already got all that stuff.
Well, there's-
Yeah.
there's
Signed
voted
it
on it.
like 3 times.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not rushing now. I want to make sure we have everything we need.
Town sign is pending, the office deck staining, it's still weather,
Pending,
it's
yeah.
holding it back, library's holding it back. Hermosa Connects, there's nobody here from Hermosa Connects. I know they had a meeting, and their agenda is attached. I didn't attend the meeting. I was in Custer County. Does anybody have input on that? I guess we'll just look at the. Next item on the agenda, I think the big thing that came out of Hermosa Connects, and it's gonna be on our agenda here just a little later, that was the library. Law enforcement contract, it was been signed and sent back to Custer County. The sidewalk extension from Eagles Boulevard estimated, the date that, when I went to the South Dakota Department of Transportation meeting the other night, they said that that's probably gonna be 2028, by the time they get all the studies and everything done to go into that. Have you Were you able to get a hold of Leo on that yet for the church? We do have time. So. The chicken ordinance, that is pending for a work session.
Chicken ordinance.
And I like their chicken file.
Question, Jerry?
Yes,
I want to know about that chicken ordinance. What do you got planned, or what are you gonna do with that?
well, the ordinance was put in front of the voters. The voters voted on it and it accepted that ordinance. The town can't make any change to that ordinance for 1 year. They didn't put a stipulation in it that it'd have to go back to the vote. So they can't make a change on it for 1 year. What we're looking at trying to do now is to get the permit process out, and so the permit will cover everything as far as, you know, when their inspections have to be, you know, it's already part of the ordinance that they gotta do a drawing and show everything where they're at in the distance, and it already talks about going and getting neighbors. You know, have to send out, I think it was registered letters that we wanted to look at, but we have to go into the work session to finish up that permit on it.
The reason I'm asking is, I lived in this town since I was born. And we had people come into town, and the first thing they did was put up a chicken coop. And the town tried to get along with them, and tell them to clean their chicken coops once a week, and take care of it, and no roosters. It's crowing at 4 o'clock in the damn morning. And I think you're making a heck of a mistake by allowing chickens in the town of Hermosa.
Too late.
I mean,
It's already
I
done.
can't believe we'd even be talking
You
about
voted for
What?
it. Maybe you didn't.
What's that?
We had a vote on it.
Yeah,
The election.
Done deal.
It was an initiated
the
measure,
the
When was the
citizens,
vote?
During the election.
June 6th.
Really?
yeah, the citizens had a right, they got together, they had 15% of the town voting population to,
Five.
no, it's 15% for the voting to get on to the, 5% is for
Right.
us nominating, it's 15% for having a motion added to the ballot. And they had enough petitions, they got it added onto the ballot. It was voted on, and it was voted on, and the results was, I think, 92 to 53 or 54, something like that. So it was, yeah, it was a phenomenon. So what we gotta do now is to come up with a permitting process and inspection process to try to ensure that what your concerns are won't be a concern. And there's a place in there, if someone gets complained on, and then they get complaint again, they can come back to the board, and the board can just say, sorry, but you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't get chickens anymore.
So you're gonna outline exactly what people have to abide by on your law, cleaning their chicken coops, no roosters? I don't
Have you
say
read
anything
the
about
ordinance?
roosters.
Yeah, on the,
There's no roosters.
yeah, you can't have roosters, it's the ordinance that says no roosters.
Have you read
John went
it?
through this one other time, same
Have you
thing.
read the ordinance?
Huh?
Have you read it?
No, I don't know where it's at.
Did you
I
vote?
can give you a
Did you
copy.
vote?
Right.
I wrote an explanation, and
I
I'm
know,
crystal
I
clear.
voted against it.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that had the whole ordinance was in there for reading. So that one is gonna be in the books, it's already on the books. It should be on the website.
It is on the website, and I can make you a copy if you want.
And one of the things that Mr. Johnson had mentioned before is that in our permitting process, we can't make that any more restrictive than what's already in the ordinance. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So what we want to do is set up so we can have inspections, so we can go out and make sure that the things that they're supposed to be complying with needs to be complied with.
So how many
But
chickens
you
can
would
you
also
have?
have to comply with
8.
public nuisance laws too.
Yeah. How many chickens can you have?
Depends upon the acreage. I think if it's less than a quarter of an acre, I think you can have 8 chickens.
No,
No.
if it's under 0.25 acres lots, you cannot have chickens.
Oh, you can't have chickens, okay. But
Only if
between,
it's between 0.25 and 1 acre, you can have 8 chickens, no roosters. Above 1 acre, you can have up to, what is it?
15.
15.
15 chickens,
15
15.
If it's over an acre.
over
And
there.
it's just for egg production,
Yeah.
not for slaughter.
And I don't think anybody down there has a lot close to you that's over that, I don't think. Individual
So-
lots.
If you got neighbors and do you have, gonna put in your ordinance how often they have to clean their chicken coops? And how
Weekly.
often they have to clean up the manure?
It's in there.
Weekly.
It's all in there.
I'll give you the ordinance and you can read on it. There's a lot of restrictions.
Okay.
But again, we can't be no stricter than what it is, but we want to make sure that we have a process this, so we can enforce and make sure nothing's happening that shouldn't be happening.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, it's very clear in there, if they, if they get neighbors' complaints and they go out and get verified, after 2 times, then they're kind of done, so. But anyway, any further questions on the chickens? We'll move on to the new business then. Southern Black Hills presentation will be in late August. One of the things that when Monica was doing the meeting minutes, I messed up on how I requested the motion to be voted on. So we actually had a motion that was approved to not ask, we can't stop him from coming, we can't not ask or invite Andy Burrows, and then there was a motion approved that to ask him to come in. And so, to me, it's not an issue one way or the other. I mean, if we can request another motion to pretty much say all in favor of asking him, and and then if I get a motion on that, we can vote on it. And if we don't get the vote, then we don't ask him. But that can't keep him from coming to the meeting. I mean, he can come to the meeting if Rural Water thinks that they want him at the meeting to help better present their stuff, then he can come to the meeting. So all this is doing is just whether we're gonna ask him, request him personally to come from the city. So the way it stands right now, we have a motion that was voted on that says no, and a motion that's voted on to say no. We can rectify that by I just request a motion to have request a motion to invite Andy Burrows to the Southern Black Hills Water. And if we get that motion and we get a second on it, and then we vote on it, don't carry, then that means we don't ask him. Or you can submit a motion that request a motion to not invite him. And then if that's seconded and it carries, then that's the direction we'll go. Yes?
Do we have a meeting date yet?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
So I don't know if we want to try to clear this up. Go ahead, Dan.
The only thing is, last time Linda thought that it would be better with a presentation without the state being here and just have Southern Black Hills Water here.
Yeah.
And I guess I thought that's where we kind of left it, that we would rather not have the state involved until we have clear direction of where we want to go and have a chance to either a proposal,
Yeah.
what they want to submit.
And that's what, the way it turned out is in the meeting minutes, and then going back and listening to it, the votes weren't there to carry, don't invite him, but I said the motion carried. So, and then we went back to the other. This can be rectified if you want to make the motion that we don't personally invite him, the town, and then just make that motion, and if it's seconded, we can vote on it, and then we can go forward.
I would make the motion that we allow only Southern Black Hills Water to be here and not the state until after we see the discussion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll open up for discussion. Is that the motion, we can't restrict them from coming? The way your motion says we won't have them here. We can't restrict them from coming. This is a public meeting.
Correct.
So what we'll have to do is just have them, so what's on the table, what needs to be addressed is, do we, as a town, ask them to come? Because we can't have a motion that would say, you can't come, because it's a public forum.
So do you change your motion then?
That we
Amend your-
don't invite him to this
Mhm.
as a town.
I'll second that
Okay.
amendment, whatever, however you want to word
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 The motion carries it. We won't be a formal invite from the city to have him here. So we got that straightened out. Thank you.
Is that all eyes?
it. Yes, it was.
It was all ayes. The contracting licensing ordinance that Mitch had sent in 2 of them on it. One of the things in the last meeting, Dan brought up that if those 2 ordinances are implemented and approved, they're gonna affect a lot of other ordinances that are already existing. And so what,
Oh, they are, like what?
well,
Which ones?
I wish I'd have brought that in. I had
I'll
everything
look at
lined
it.
out, but
so that's what we're doing, just asking you to go back and relook at, is there another ordinance that might
Well, if you got,
impact?
I would appreciate your input on that then, because,
yeah, I should have brought the thought in because we had in there where we were changing it all, but there was also in the ordinance, like for example, if you do maintenance or repair on your property, that a permit for a contractor isn't required, but the way the ordinance read that you would need that person to be licensed on that. So we have 2 different ordinances on our books, but one that does say.
I thought I was repealing the other one in its entirety.
I just don't know with that. It started with changing one sentence to changing the whole ordinance, so I'm just kind of lost with it.
Well,
So we
if you
change that.
wanna take a minute and take what ordinance you think needs to be repealed or whatever, I'll look at it. But I thought I repealed everything that was contradicted by the new one. But,
And that was just, it was requested in the last meeting when we requested a motion to have it read, and then there was board members that had concerns about there might be, how it affects other conflicting ordinances, so there isn't a conflict between ordinances, and also how it affects and what would need to be changed as far as the,
I just thought I repealed the old one. So I don't know what it would conflict with, because we're just talking about licensing.
Well, we'll have work session for the chickens, so maybe we
Yeah, we can
can
throw that in,
discuss that on there. Do more.
and we'll go back, and then when we go to the work session, the expectation as when people come into the work session, that they'll have the
Yeah, okay.
the areas that actually bother, or
Sure.
okay. So that'll be going to a work session. The next item on the business, on the new business, is request a motion to send a letter of support for the new library building to the county commissioners. And this is one of the things that Leo Van Sambeek presented. He's on the library board, and he presented at Hermosa Connects. Then Vicki asked that this be get put on our agenda as a vote to show support. We're not saying, yeah, do it, or no, we're just saying, yeah, we think we need to do that. Looking into the future, the town's gonna grow. The number of people it's gonna take from the office point of view is gonna grow up to 3 people. Then at that point in time, we're gonna need the town, the other part where the library's at to grow. And so I just think that, just from that point, and plus the other points that are outlined in the letter, I'm just looking for a motion to do that. Yes, Dan?
I think in our big thing when at the commissioners meeting, when the present librarian was getting ready to leave, they were taking a job somewhere else, which was very unfortunate. I had brought it up to them then too about, at one time, we had asked down at the fairgrounds, they do a civic community center, library, possible annex for the sheriff's department, license plate annex that would probably be well renowned. And it would be great for them to locate that over on this side. So I think this is a very good deal on what we've always believed in and supported all the way through. So I would make that motion.
And I second it.
Motion's been mowed. It's getting late. Motion has been made and seconded to send this letter of support to the Custer County Commissioners. Is there any discussion? Linda?
I think we already talked to the librarian about this, and I thought we already gave her a letter, but I don't think there's anything wrong with giving another one.
No.
I think it's a wonderful.
Yeah, and that's one of the, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, were you done yet?
Yeah, well,
I was just gonna say, the only thing I thought that would be good to add to this is that we were also thinking about the sheriff's
I think
No.
they have that in mind though.
and
I don't-
tax.
I think that we want to hold it, this letter just to that, I think.
Nope, that's fine. Like Linda said, it's exciting.
With no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14E. I'm looking for a motion to have the abatement committee update chapter 91, public nuisance ordinance, and bring it back to the next board meeting for approval. One of the things that has been brought up is that if you follow the ordinance just to the T, you can't, it doesn't tell you you can't make a phone call, but it doesn't tell you you can make a phone call. And one of the things that we found out, maybe 90% of the people that you call get on it right away and do it, and then that saves us not having to send out letters, not tracking it.
Everybody I talk to is.
We still have to track it.
Oh yeah, we track it, yeah. You know, we don't have to send the letter out if they say they're
I'm
gonna do it.
concerned about saying phone call. I don't have a problem exercising discretion and then making the phone call like you've done in the past recently. But to put that in an ordinance, you can always have disputes then of whether or not I got a phone call.
So you feel that we can, even, it doesn't say we can call and doesn't say we can't call, so you feel that we can call?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But if you put it in an ordinance saying you have to call, then there's gonna be a dispute,
Yeah.
a paper trail
Yeah.
of whether or not
Okay.
they have to, I didn't get my call. You violated my rights of due process.
Yeah.
So,
It was just brought up that wasn't part of the process, and we just wanted to get clarification. And from you, you're saying we can make the call?
yes, absolutely.
So
I
we
no problem
have,
with that.
Thank you.
we have, my request for a motion doesn't need to be requested, thank you. Now back to item number 15, items from citizens. Does citizens have any more input? With no further input from the citizens, Board of Trustees input, Dan?
Thank you for a good meeting. That's over before 9 and
2 hours shorter last time.
we like that. We're gaining, so.
I'm sorry I missed the last one.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Look
Okay.
forward to a shorter one next time.
Linda?
One more item. On this streets balance, I didn't bring it up under streets. So in this number on what we have here, then is this stating, as what I read it, that we're over?
No, so we spent only 2,900 out of 33,000. so far. And when I looked at the budget notes, you did put budget for chip seal and mat water.
So I guess what we would maybe look for you then, Dan, is to come to the next meeting with plans of how you'd like to see that money spent to ensure that we have time to have the work accomplished before the end of the construction, end of the season.
Okay, good, thank you. That clarifies that, and that's all I have.
Okay, Linda?
I have a couple things. Would it be all right with you, sir, if I brought in my own office chair? These kill my back.
I gotta try to horse them.
Yeah, and I have in the past had my own chair up here.
That does not bother me at all.
Does not bother you? I just want to make sure I can get it back when I go, you know?
It depends on how comfortable it is.
Comfortable enough I'm taking it with me.
Yeah, because what I did,
Yeah,
I just went around and sat in every chair, and this one was the most comfortable, so I moved it to this position.
Mhm,
So,
yeah. I got one that isn't comfortable, so,
Yeah.
okay, thank you for that. And then I would also like to send my and the board's condolences to Christina and Waylon and them for the loss of their mother, grandmother, Linda Clark. Thank you. I'm just like, it's late. Yeah. But yes, I would like to send condolences.
Yeah, her funeral not till 11.
Not to the 11th, right, but. Yeah. And that's all I have. Thank you for the shorter meeting this week.
I think the meeting went much better tonight than it did last time, and we're all improving
And what I'd like to say is just thank you very much for everybody's input. Thank you, Dan, for your input. You have a lot to offer to the board. You have a lot of experience. I feel this meeting went really smooth. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to the citizens. And like we said, we're 2 hours short of last meeting. Yeah, with that, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion at 8:57.
Motion made and second to adjourn the meeting at 8:57. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I don't think we're here. I got an eye on that too.